Are you one of those many people who like to go on a road trip, especially on motorcycles? We need all these things to go on our long-awaited camping trip. Can the Harley-Davidson Electra Glide Ultra Classic fit all this? You can easily put all the items in the Harley suitcases that are custom fit for the saddlebags. Smaller bikes are not able to carry the amount of luggage we need for this trip. These suitcases will help with the unpacking too. Also, the Tourpack and hard saddlebags protects your bike from anything short of a direct impact with an SUV. So you get almost the same space as a car, and it can be done only by the large touring bikes. It's wonderful if you don't have any other vehicles going to your campsite to carry your stuff. You can put everything but the kitchen sink in here. Neck pillows will have to do for this trip. It's getting late, and I love that I can just throw all this stuff on top. You can pile stuff back up here all the way to your helmet. For safety, I like to keep the weight to a minimum by putting lightweight items on top. The luggage rack lets me put the stuff in there and quickly bungee it up. We have everything we need. We can get up in the morning and go. Which one would be the best fit for our trip? Let's go pick out a windshield. This thing is really handy during the summertime. Instead of the air coming across and over your helmet, it can go right in through to your chest and your face to cool you off. So it's really handy. Even though this is great for riding around town, it's very cool. We're going to go on a little bit longer trip this time, so I would like a windshield that goes up to about right there. This is the factory windshield that came with it, but it was a little too tall for me. This is a nice wide, and it's a tall windshield. There's a curve on it, so it's going to push a lot of air up and over the passenger, both the passenger and the rider. And the other thing is we're going to have a lot of airflow and with an adjustable air vent right here, so it's really nice. The only thing is it's so tall that I have to lift up to look over the windshield, and I prefer to look straight over. All right, this is a medium-sized windshield, and it's going to allow us three things. One, we're going to have nice airflow around the sides, both these sides, and that's going to cool us down during those hot summer months. The other thing is we're going to be able to see right over the top of this windshield. And what happens is if this gets fogged up or rain covers it, we can see over it for safety. And number three, we're going to block these bugs. Instead of hitting on our face shield over here, they're going to hit right here on the windshield. Now let's check our tires and air shocks. It is important to have proper tire pressures for traction and stopping distances. The tires are looking a little low. Let's air it up. We need to get this pressure up to 36 psi in the front and 40 in the back. This is one of the best features of the motorcycle. Few bikes can do this. We can adjust the firmness of the suspension with just a few pumps of a little air compressor. If we have a large load, we simply put more air in the shocks with a few more pumps. This backrest is removable, and so you just squeeze it. You're out of here. Now it's set up nicely for two. Good thing it pops up anyway. Despite all the cons, this bike is still king of the road. I have a good vibe while riding this bike. The design of this bike is also amazing, and the sound of the engine is really good. All packed up and with two riders, the weight is noticeable and, to be honest, quite intimidating. But once you get a little speed, it starts to feel nimble again. One of the great things about this bike is that it is customizable, so you can make the changes according to your needs. Another great reason behind buying this bike is its extra comfortability and spaciousness. This bike is like riding a car. The adjustable air shocks provide ease on your body, and it has lots of legroom and large floorboards. Also, the highway pegs give you space to stretch your legs on a long journey. Another reason I bought this bike is that it's easy to turn, but only when you're at a good speed. Yes, a lot of people complain that it's hard to turn this bike. They must keep in mind that this bike is made for long distances, so you could avoid just riding around in the city. It is a classic American motorcycle, and people love to have them for good reasons. One of many is the customization. This Harley has the upgraded aftermarket Vance & Hines exhaust system for incredible sound and superb performance. This has a sizable engine and there is no oil leakage, as there is many complaints about oil leakage in the older models. I also enjoy starting this bike with still having the keys in my pocket because of the wireless key fob. Some people put the key in the tour pack and just start the bike whenever they want. You can learn to do all the maneuvers the police can do with this bike. With a little training and after riding the bike for a while, you get to know its functions and features, so you can make this bike quite agile. If I compare this bike with the other bikes on the road, then this makes a great back road long-range cruiser. Other bikes might be good for high speed, but if you're going on a long journey, the first thing you look for is comfort, so no second option comes to mind. That's the reason that this bike has a strong value in the market. I really love riding this bike. Your passenger will love putting their foot down on this. Another great thing about this bike is that you don't need a wind deflector for your hands to block the cold. The Batwing blocks the air and gives room for speakers and other accessories. The Batwing is good, but there is a problem that you might face. It creates air baffling and wind drag. The heavy weight also causes high center of gravity while blocking the air during the summer season. Also, if you are not tall, then the design of this motorcycle might make it hard for you to view and maneuver. It has nice gauges, but the air temp is the most useless thing ever created on this motorcycle. On my other bike, I replaced it and put an oil temp gauge, which is actually useful. This design accommodates 4 large, loud speakers and can be easily upgraded. It's like riding a recliner down the freeway, and you can add an elongated armrest with a cup holder for even more comfort. It even fits large and extra large folk like myself. It's a powerhouse, with the latest version being the 107. You can also get the CVO with a 117 Monster. It has a 6-speed gearbox with an indicator light for the 6th gear only. If it was up to me, all gears should have an indicator light. When you are driving on bad roads or over bridges, you still get a comfortable experience. The adjustable air shocks give you ease, which you cannot get on all bikes. This bike is great for traveling long distances, but not for city parking and driving around tight spaces. A few years back, it was difficult to find the spare parts for this bike in some parts of the world, as it started out as an American-made bike. Now, many parts are made and assembled everywhere, so it's quite easy to find the spare parts anywhere you live. Camping is always great fun when you have everything you need, but it is very difficult to bring the luggage with you, especially when you are not in a truck. Many people prefer to go on road trips on bikes, not just because it's cheaper, but because it's fun. If you already have experience camping, then you might know that camping does not just require a tent, but you also need a lot of stuff like food, pots to cook the meal, and a lot of other things. No average bike has the capacity to store all this stuff like the Harley Classic, and the company has been well known for its distinctive features. And another great thing about this model of Harley-Davidson is that it is a heavyweight bike, about 850 pounds, and can handle heavy luggage. Despite having a hefty weight, it is still effortless to turn this bike while you're at high speeds. A lot of people believe that the weight is cumbersome to control, but you want a comfortable and stable ride, especially when you're driving on long highways. If you have an average lightweight bike, then it will shake and be unsettling when large trucks pass you by. Also, when you have a huge amount of luggage, you will need a beefy model like this. As we all know, people go far away from the city, so you will need all the necessities. It's a real joy to ride and look out at the scenery. It is different than a car, more like seeing the world for the first time. Nature has a way of stripping negative mental energy and removing life's problems. This bike has a removable backrest for the driver as well. You can take it out for that extra connection. You have to decide whether you want a small, high-speed bike or you want a relaxed ride to make your trip a memorable one. This bike can become a perfect substitute for taking a trailer or an extra vehicle. Nothing like a campfire to make you feel right at home. What is a camp out without a place to stay? Let's see if we can get this up. Well, we had a good ride and made our campsite. Now we can relax and enjoy the outdoors. See you next time.